Hello everybody, we are here with your Hades guide. Going to be taking him into the mid lane. On Hades, we do something a little bit weird, which is that we don't actually get a starter item. We're going to be starting off with our tier 2 Bancrofts, a health pot, and a mana pot, and we are also going to be getting Blink as our active. So the reason why we don't start with a starter item on Hades is because the Vampiric Shroud would be the item that you go. Now, Vampiric isn't really a good lane clear item. It will be getting slightly nerfed in the way, slightly buffed, I should say, in the way of lane clear sooner than later. But even after then, it will still be lacking in the clear potential compared to simply going the Bancrofts. So I like on gods like Hades and Anubis and stuff to simply get that Bancrofts going and then to double back into your Vampiric later for either that bonus damage or that extra lifesteal action. So we're going to be starting off with our 3 on Hades. This is also the ability that we are going to max out first. It is our main form of wave clear. And the cool thing about Hades is that you basically full clear the wave. So I'm going to walk up, make sure I auto attack these 3 archers. Then I'm going to use my 3. And you can see that the wave is literally already cleared. Now I am getting quick ganked here by the Camazot. They did the solo laner starts at a blue start. I know they did that because their jungler is already here. But you can see it is really not that big of a deal because Hades full clears those archers, which just gives you so much room to kind of wiggle about in the mid lane. Now I'm going to wait for the Thoth to dash before I go back in on that. And I'm going to try to land these couple of autos. And we're going to be able to grab ourselves a quick kill. So the reason why I like Hades in the mid lane compared to other lanes right now is because the mid lane meta is high clear and high survivability. You want somebody that can both clear the wave and have the ability to escape. Hades 1 makes for a great escape ability. He has really good clear because he full clears those archers now because of the mage start at red buff. He just has a very, very efficient time in the mid lane. And lifesteal in general is still very strong. Now, lifesteal will also be getting a slight nerf in the coming days. And that is because they will be rebuffing up the anti-heal items. The rebuffing up of those anti-heal items means that going a big lifesteal build will be a little bit less enticing. But in general, I've got a feeling that people are still not going to be building a whole lot of anti-heal. Those items right now are just generically not popular. And they're not popular not only because their anti-heal values were slightly nerfed, but because stat-wise, compared to a lot of other items in the game, they're just inferior. And so a lot of people don't want to be the guy that has to go get the anti-heal item. And so a lot of people are quite late getting into those like brawlers and divines of the world because it's like, I want to get my Jotun's Wrath because I want my 50 power and I want my CDR. I want my Spear of Desolation because I want my 10,000 power and my CDR. So they're going to be quite late still to the anti-heal. On our back, we're going to grab ourselves a couple of wards and a couple of mana pots, as well as finishing our Bancrofts. For our level order, we of course got our dash at level 2. That is our 1. Then we put another point in our 3, getting our fear at level 4, and finally grabbing our ultimate at level 5. Our level order on Hades is going to be 4, 3, 1, 2. So we're going to get our ultimate whenever we can, our Devour Souls. Then we're going to rank up our dash because that increases the damage and the slow. Finally, increasing our Shroud of Darkness, which will both reduce the cooldown and increase that fear duration. But because we are mid Hades, we are less concerned about the fear duration and more concerned about the actual damage output that we can do. So for my active here on Hades, I have gotten Blink as my first active, and you basically just saw why I always get Blink on Hades first. Your goal on Hades is to go very, very aggressive into your opposing mid laner. And one of the ways you're going to be able to do that is with Blink. If you dash on Hades aggressively, all the enemy has to do is dash away from you. It's really that easy. You dash in, they go, oh, cool beans, and then they use their movement ability to get away from you. So your strategy on Hades is going to be to blink onto your target, try to auto attack them, and then use your 2. Remember that your 2 is only a silence unless they have blight applied to them, which is Hades' passive mechanic. So you want to try to blink auto. While your auto is basically on its way to its target, you want to press your 2. By the time the animation goes off, you will fear them. Then they have to either choose to beads that, or they sit in your full 3, which is already going to be about half of their HP. Then if they use their movement ability to get away, you can follow up with your dash. And then your ultimate. And if they haven't beads yet, now they're going to have to bead to get out of your ulti. If they already beads your fear, well, now they don't have a movement ability up, nor CC immunity in order to get out of your ulti. You're basically trying to do everything that you can to maximize your ultimate effectiveness. If you get somebody sucking Hades ult, they're simply going to be dead. The trick is not making your Hades ult basically do enough damage to kill somebody. It's about getting them trapped in Hades ult long enough for them to be killed. So that's why you need to get out their movement abilities. You need to get out their CC immunities.
Your right tower.
I'm going to back up right here. I can get my full CDR boots, so I'm going to get those going. I like the CDR boots on Hades. You can get the shoes of the Magi. I don't think that they're bad or anything. The healing is nice, but in general, I find that Hades starts to struggle in the CDR department a little bit later on in the game. So I like to get these shoes of focus. I will also be getting a Spear of Desolation, just because 1, Spear of Desolation is the best mage item in the game. You basically have to buy it on your mages, but 2, that extra percent CDR is just gonna be nice for us. Getting that ultimate up more often, we get that ulti up more often, which means we have more opportunities to burn people's beads one time with it and then use it on them again after their beads are down, so we can start to force out those opportunities for ourselves.
You're on fire.
Now I'm going to hold my point here at level 8 so I can get my 5th point into my 3 and my 2nd point into my ultimate. I want to try to clear this tower, and then I can look to go aggressive here in mid with my team. I'm going to dash over this wall to the Ares. I see that the Athena is ulting back here onto the Camazot, so I'm gonna keep going aggressive. Camazot uses his ult, he uses his jump, and now he has to beads in order to get out of this. Now I need to be very careful here. I'm gonna blink and then dash away. I see that the Woojer is chasing hard on this, and I'm just gonna keep running myself into the jungle. I'm gonna try to find this camp. I'm gonna 2 it and then 3 it so I get a nice heal. Conveniently, the Woojer actually hits me right before he does that, right before I do it, which takes that Brawler's debuff off of me. He actually ended up probably healing me for more health than he did right there. So for our standard combination on Hades, we are going to either be dashing or blinking in. Man, the minions in Smite right now really do not aggro proper. If we're dashing in, we're going to immediately follow up with our 2 because we'll dash in. They'll get some blight on them, so we can go right for the fear. If we're blinking in, we're blinking in and going for the auto attack, and then of course immediately into our fear. Either way, after that, we're going to use our 3 for the big damage, and then follow up with the ultimate if needed. Thoth has to use his beads right there. I'm going to keep a mental note of that. That means that if any time I can force his dash, he's just dead now. If my ultimate is up and his dash is down for the next like 2 minutes, he is dead every single time. For Hades, the types of gods that we like to go against are obviously gods that do not have any movement abilities. If they cannot leap or dash out of our ultimate, then they are going to be dead over and over and over and over again. Somebody like an AMC who has a lot of movement speed does not matter against Hades. Somebody like a Kukulkan that has a lot of movement speed with the 2 does not matter. Movement speed is not going to help you here if you get caught in that Hades ultimate. The second thing that we like against Hades is to go against people that do not have CC immune ultimates. So Thoth is a good contender for that. We don't want to go against people with CC immune ultimates because they can simply CC immune out of our... Gonna pop my ultimate right after this because I know that he can't escape. You can see I was sitting there patiently waiting for him to dash. The second he dashed, he was dead. In fact, almost a better play with him at that point was probably just not to dash at all in hope that he could just kind of bait me from ever using it. Because I was gonna wait forever on his dash in order to use my ulti. So if he never dashed, I probably would have never ultied. So back to the CC immune ultis. If they don't have a CC immune ult, well then they have to beads if they get stuck in our ultimate. So somebody like an Anher, not a good target for Hades to go against on multiple fronts. But he's got a leap to get out of the ulti. He's got a CC immune ultimate that's on a fairly low cooldown. He's even got an impale to knock us away from being in range of our ultimate before we get it off. That is not the type of character that you want to go against as a Hades. As far as the mid lane is concerned, somebody like a Scylla is not the dream matchup for you. She can root you right after you do your dash and then walk out of the distance before you get the ulti off. She can ulti on top of your ult, which still does a lot of damage even with your bonus protections that you get. She has a CC immune ultimate. She has a leap to get away from you. Not the type of character that you want to be going against on Hades. I'm going to walk over here, just steal myself a little purple. Looks like I'm probably going to die here, so I'm just going to go ahead and ulti, try and see if I can't get those immunities off. That's Athena ultimate down. I do believe that was Uller beads down. And there was also a Camazotz over in the duo lane, unfortunately. So now that we're level 12, we are going to get our beads. Like I said earlier, don't get beads first. If you get beads first, you're gonna find that you have to be way more passive on Hades, which is not what you want to do. You do want to abuse the fact that you've got a lot of early game lane clear, which means you can start to rotate around the map. It means you can start to go and invade the enemy's jungle, which is nice. Especially in Season 8, invading the enemy jungle can really get you ahead and put the enemy jungler and mid laner behind. So now I'm going to get myself a couple of wards. I'm going to go put those out deep into the enemy jungle, preferably near some of their camps, so I can have their respawn timers on lock. Now for Hades 3, I've got to mention this every time I play Hades, because people learn every single time. Hades 3 does heal teammates, so you can utilize it as a team heal. If you can get a group of minions, like a full wave all grouped up, get your team to go right on over to you, you can go ahead and heal your team. It doesn't heal them for as much as it heals you, but it is still a nice heal. So I'm going to go very aggressive on this right now. I'm going to blink into this. It looks like Thoth has dashed the other way, so I'm going to have to ulti here in the back line, right on top of this Camazotz. He is taking so much damage. I need to be careful on the way getting out of here. Chalk is here. Uller is here. I'm just going to walk into the jungle. Going to heal myself a little bit. I don't want to completely abandon anybody else that's going to be going in on my team. So I've kind of stuck around here. I can see that my Danzaburrow is just YOLOing into the tower. Nothing I can do about that to go save him. Also, a reminder that all of Hades' abilities are going to benefit from Blight. Blight basically just means that you've auto-attacked them or hit them with an ability that applies Blight recently. And you're going to get a lot more value out of those abilities. Your 2 goes from a silence to a fear. Your 1 has this additional slow that it will do. Your 3 has the splody, all sorts of good stuff. And your ultimate even has a protection debuff when you have that. So you always want to make sure your target is blighted first. Really not hard to apply blight. You can use your 1, your 2, your auto attack. So they should pretty much have blight on them anytime you're doing a significant play. A lot of people ask me why you do the 2-3 on the wave when we're playing throughout the day. The reason why you use your 2 on the wave and then the 3 is because it applies the blight, and then your 3 has that explosion damage, which is gonna what helps you clear the wave on Hades. It's also what's gonna let you get that nice big heal. Now we've got pressure around the map right now. I should be able to tank the Gold Fury decently. I don't know where the Woojer is, which makes me a little bit nervous. But he should be able to give me this Gold Fury. I'm going to save my 3 for secure. There's a Woojer over mid. They do not seem to have this warded, and so we're going to be able to grab ourselves a nice Gold Fury. Anytime you see the enemy on the map, on the opposite side of the map, that is when you want to be going for objectives right now. Even though the map is pretty big, people tend to get around quick right now, especially because you don't necessarily know where anybody is. There's a lot of spots that they can be right around the corner. So if you don't have any wards out like we didn't, you want to really take a gander at the map, see how many people you can see. The only person we really did not know where they were was the Woojer, which is what I was concerned about, but then he popped up on a ward. Bada bing, bada boom. We have an easy Gold Fury to get. Now I need to go get this Scorpion down over by the Fire Giant. But I got to be a little bit careful on the way over. I know that there is a Camazotz right here. I'd like to counter ward his ward up top, but I also don't want to immediately get my ward countered by them. So I'm going to walk up, take this, and then I'm going to put me out a nice deep ward right over here. That's a very standard ward for around the Fire Giant. Gives you some nice deep vision out. See where the enemy is going to be coming in from, and it's not an area that is traditionally going to get counter warded. So for our third item, we grabbed that Spear of Desolation because it is just simply too good not to get. Power, cooldown, and most importantly, that passive that gives you a whole bunch of cooldown when enemies die, and I promise enemies will be a-dying. So for our fourth item, we're going to get Typhon's Fang. Typhon's Fang is going to give us a little bit of percent penetration, and it's also going to stack up our lifesteal with our Bancrofts and going to give us that nice extra damage with that passive, and we get that extra sustain coming out from our lifesteal, so we're going to get a lot of efficacy out of this. You always want to get that Typhon's Fang. On anybody that you're building Bancrofts on, you're going to be building Typhon's Fang. Those two items just synergize so well with each other. Gonna hold out on using my fear until Athena tries to dash. Just kind of waiting for him to maximize the CC here. Now he's trying to dash, so I'm gonna go ahead and use my fear, and we're gonna be able to kill him. Athena's one does have that charge up time, so there's no point for me to basically use my fear beforehand, wait for him to start channeling it. I know he's going to use his getaway, then I fear him, and that way he has to channel it once again. Takes about a solid second, so that buys us about an extra second of duration that he can't get away. So now I'm going to back up. I'm going to grab myself my Typhon's Fang, and I'm going to start thinking about saving my money now. I'm getting close to 20, and because I did not start with a starter item, it is going to be a little bit more expensive for me to get the full thing. Normally it would be that 1,500 gold increase, right? But I didn't actually buy the original starter, so I'm gonna need slightly above 2 grand in order to be getting my starter item ranked up. So I need to be saving up money a little bit earlier to make sure that I can purchase it when I get that 20 online. We are going to be going into the Vampiric Shroud, and I'm probably going to get the Blood-Soaked Shroud this game, depending on their exact builds, which I want to check out in a minute, see how much anti-heal they are building.
Defend the Fire Giant.
They've got a couple of people that are going to do pyro, so what I want to do is I kind of want to sit around and go in on this, but it's going to be too risky. They've got 4 people here. I need to make sure that they don't do the actual Fire Giant. Danta's going to be able to get the tier 2 over and left. Thoth Wall is down. I might be able to go look at mid right here. Looks like the Chalk is no longer with us. Unfortunately, Danta doesn't quite get the tier 2 over and left. Their red buff is up. They're going to want to go for that. But now they've got their camos out there as well. They are grouped up as a team, so we need to get grouped up as well and start making our way to objectives like the Gold Fury. But we need to get wards out over by that Fire Giant. We got a couple of members over by the fire, so I'm hoping they've got some wards for it. I'm going to go to these oracles, keep my eyes out for this Woojers. I'm going to blink in and auto attack him. Then I'm going to use my 2, which is the fear. Now he has used his jump, and I've still got my dash up, which allows me to chase him. That is why the blink, man, is so crucial. It's so incredibly important. I land the auto attack onto the Kama. That forces him to ulti. I'm going to ulti here for the CC immunity against the Chalk, because I do not want to be stuck under that tower while silenced. Continue to go in toward the Kama. I'm going to fear on the Chalk, give a little heal out for my Danza. And we get a really, really nice fight off of that. And we should go straight to the Fire Giant with our whole team.
Executed.
After we grab this Fire Giant, I'm going to back up. And I'm going to start going for my starter item. So I'm going to look at their build. They do have a Divine. That seems to be really their only anti-heal right now. Not a whole lot of anti-heal items coming out. Like I said, people really don't want to build a whole lot of anti-heal right now because the items are simply not that enticing. So I am going to get that left-hand side upgrade for some of that bonus sustain. I don't really need the bonus damage right now, but this blood-soaked shroud is really going to give me some extra sustain. Going to make me a little bit tankier, which is always nice on Hades because we have to be so frontliney. If they were going a little bit more anti-heal, then I would probably go into the sacrificial shroud, which is really just going to up my damage a lot. But right now my damage feels fine. I feel like I can abuse some of my sustain right now, and we're gonna get the left-hand side close.
Another Patriot has
Enemy ultimate down. Attack.
Now we just need to get set up, go over to the Gold Fury, start looking for pickoffs and shoving down those tier 2s. Now Uller Bead should still be down, so I'm gonna start heading over that way. Make sure I get the oracles on the way there. Looks like they're gonna be able to kind of get him before I'll even get there, although the Athena ultimate's in. So now I actually need to start walking this way. Gonna see if the Athena tries to dash out. She does, so I can come over this wall, hit him with the fear, and we'll be able to snag that kill, as well as shove up left lane. So as much as I want to go for the Gold Fury, we've got 2 people dead, so I feel pretty confident that we can group up and go for this. Kama's still over mid lane, Chalk's over right. We should go immediately for left lane right now. I want to blink in on this stop. I blink in, I land the auto attack. Now I'm kind of waiting for him to beads or dash or anything. He might not have had it up. He got Ares chain. And so we quickly grab that kill. Now we should retreat out of here and we should go to the mid tier 2. You can see how strong that blink combo is. Blink auto right into the fear. And if they beat it and they use their movement speed, well, then they're dead to the Hades dash ulti every time. It's very scary. We don't have our Kukulkan with us. They're all respawning except for the Thaw, so we might as well head over to the right-hand side, grab ourselves this tier 2 while we're waiting. No reason to go super risky on the mid Phoenix. We've also got a bunch of creeps pushing up and right. Now, when you're low HP on Hades, you don't need to back up. All you need to do is go find yourself a couple of camps. Bada bing, bada boom. Hit him with the 2, hit him with the 3. You're back up full HP. You're ready to go into the fight again. Don't need to back all the way up. You just got to get yourself a little camp. Can heal up my Kukulkan a little bit right there as well. And at this point, I'm looking for some sort of big ultimate play. If they all get grouped up, I would love to kind of just dash in on them and get a massive ulti out. Chalk, though, is by himself, so I'm going to land a fear on this guy. I'm just going to hit what's right in front of me. Our Kukulkan is diving pretty deep, trying to zone out the that whole team. We do get the Chalk here, but we need to be a little bit careful. We're okay. We can still go towards the mid Phoenix. We don't have to give up on this fight entirely. Camo blinks in on me, which is actually going to be probably a mistake from him. I know that his ulti isn't up, so we should be able to just go ahead and chase this down, dash in, use my fear, use my 3, and now we can go in right for the Titan. I'm just going to ulti on top of the Titan. I gain a bunch of protections in this form. Reset really quickly out of the room, dash right on back in, and as long as we're focusing the Titan, we're going to be able to finish this game right on up. For my last item this game, it would have simply been a Rod of Tahuti. Rod of Tahuti gives you way too much damage value to not be getting on your mid laners. It would have given us a little bit more percent pen on top of our Typhon's Fang, and of course, any additional power is going to be increasing the amount that we are life stealing, guys. So your takeaways from Hades is that you have to play aggressive. If you're playing passive on Hades, you're not utilizing him to his full extent. You have the early wave clear, which means you can go put early pressure on the enemy mid laner, on the enemy jungler, into their jungle, take some of their farm, get yourself a nice XP lead, and make sure you've got the blink to be going in aggressively, guys. And that is our Hades guide.